ever tried to pull depth from a shallow well? Have you ever exhausted yourself trying to explain, reason, and grow with someone who only to realize they don't even have the capacity to understand you? Let me say something that might sting a little. Sometimes we are frustrated not because they hurt us, but because we expected them to be someone they never had the capacity to become. And today, I need to talk about acceptance, not bitterness, not blame, but clarity. Because I had a revelation this week, y'all, and it changed how I see the men I aligned myself with, how I parent, and how I move. If you've ever had to accept that someone cannot give you what you keep asking for, this episode is for you. Welcome back to Still Chosen, the Bold Believer podcast. I'm Terra, and this is the space where bold believers heal out loud, grow in obedience, and walk in truth, even when it's uncomfortable. I had to sit with something hard. Looking back at the fathers of my children, I realized something. Yeah, I said plural, y'all. I keep trying to have grown, emotional, mature conversations with men who are operating from survival, avoidance, or immaturity. And here's the part that really hit me. I process deeply. I reflect. I want growth. But I align myself with men who did not have the emotional capacity to meet me there. And for years, I was frustrated, trying to get understanding, trying to get accountability, trying to get consistency. But what if the issue wasn't that they wouldn't? What if it's that they couldn't? And that's not an insult. That's clarity, y'all. That was a revelation, y'all. That was a revelation. We love to quote 2 Corinthians 6:14 about being equally yoked. But being equally yoked is not just about church attending. It's about emotional maturity, accountability, life vision, discipline, capacity. You can be saved and still lack capacity. You can be present and still lack leadership. You can be free and still lack responsibility. And I had to accept that I was trying to extract something from them that simply wasn't there. That doesn't make me better, but it does mean I have to stop expecting what they cannot give. That's where peace begins. So let me be honest. Let me be honest. The anger wasn't just anger, it was grief. Grief that my children don't get the father I imagined. Grief that I ignored red flags. Grief that I tried to coach grown men into becoming what I needed. But here's what the Lord whispered to me: stop trying to raise grown men, raise your children. Whew. And that shift, it freed me. Because when I accept who someone is, I stop arguing with reality. And when I stop arguing with reality, I stop suffering. Voila. Acceptance doesn't mean approval. It means I no longer over explain. I no longer beg for consistency. I no longer fight to prove my point. I document, I respond, I move on. If they show up, good. If they don't, I build anyway. Because my children, they need stability more than they need chaos. And here's the real breakthrough: I don't want to suffer anymore. I don't want my children to suffer anymore. Not emotionally, not mentally, not spiritually. I can't control their fathers. But what I can control, I can control my peace, my home, my tone, my boundaries, my obedience. And y'all, that is enough. So the book of Esther says, for such a time as this, right? Sometimes obedience isn't fighting harder. Sometimes obedience is letting go. Sometimes obedience is accepting the truth God already showed you. Hello. And I believe this revelation is maturity, not shame. growth because I'm not blaming them anymore. I'm just adjusting me. If you're listening to me and you're exhausted from trying to pull death from a shallow well, hear me. You're not crazy. You're not too much. You're not asking for too much. But you may be asking the wrong person, the wrong people. Acceptance is not defeat, it's alignment. And you are aligned with truth, you regain your power because you're still chosen, you're still worthy, you're still growing. So if this episode bless you, share with another bold believer who needs to hear it. Leave a review, subscribe, and remember, you don't need them to become better for you to move forward. And always, always, always remember, you are still chosen. Bye for now.